So, in this episode, I will be explaining to you why your job search sucks and why you are having such difficulty in finding that first job. Number one, you don't know what you want. Now, this is the clearest path possible and the clearest explanation possible as to why you're just not landing any job in general. So, first things first, you don't know what you want. You are going on Seek, you're quick applying for a bunch of different ads, a bunch of different job applications. You don't even know what half of them mean. You couldn't even tell me what a day-to-day would look like there. You couldn't even tell me what the next job would be in that position. You couldn't tell me where you want to be in 10 years as well. These are all contributing factors as to why you're not getting those first roles. The reason being is companies hire predictability. So when you're actually speaking to these companies and you're telling them that you don't really know what you want to do, you're open to a lot of different things, they're kind of seeing that with a bit of caution. They're seeing that as someone that doesn't know what he wants and someone who is vulnerable to be leaving and could leave within 2-3 months, and then they have to replace him straight away. So that's the first thing. And secondly, for yourself internally, without even speaking to other companies, because you don't know what you want, you're applying for such a broad range of different jobs that every single day you're applying for all these different roles that you have no idea what they mean, and you just keep doing that. So number one piece of advice here is genuinely lock in on 1 to 2 different career paths, understand the trajectory, and focus on those roles in particular. Secondly, you are passive. This is something that I wish someone told me when I first started in my job hunt. Once you got out of university, you're probably applying for maybe 2-3 jobs a week, and that's it. Okay, you need to understand as well is that applying for the jobs is just one part of it. You could be setting up a LinkedIn, you could be connecting on LinkedIn to people, you could be trying to build connections through LinkedIn, you could be ringing companies directly, you could be emailing companies directly, you could be doing all these different ways of reaching out to companies and building connections, having conversations, putting your name in their books, rather than just applying for these job ads and doing it through that way. The job ad is genuinely just one avenue of the job search. The best way people get jobs when they're in senior positions is through connections and through their network, basically. So how does that network happen? You don't just click your fingers when you're 35 and it all comes. It builds up. So why not start building that up now when you're 18, 19, 20? Okay, that's the second thing. And I guess the other ugly truth to this, basically, that I guess not many people are actually going to tell you is that applying for just 2-3 jobs a week and saying, yeah, I'm looking, it's not going to get you anywhere. That's just the brutal truth. The job market is very competitive. You don't have to be applying for 1,000 ads a day. I mean, look, if there are 1,000 ads that 100% align with you, go for it. But that doesn't mean that you should just be spamming applications for unnecessary jobs. Move with purpose. So go out there, apply for jobs that make sense, and then those jobs that make sense, reach out to the companies, reach out to the hiring managers, reach out to people that have the jobs that you want. Do all these different things, and that is how you will eventually build interest throughout time. Okay? And secondly, is when you're saying that you are applying, doing that for maybe 1 to 2 days and then not doing anything for the next week, you lose so much momentum. So have that accountability and be like, yeah, you're right. I'm probably not doing enough at the moment. I need to do more. That's the mindset you need to have. Don't be lazy with that, basically, because at the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself. And yeah, this ties into my next point. You're applying through Seek, and that is it. So the job searching system, there are so many different avenues. You've got your job ads, obviously, through Seek, LinkedIn, there's Indeed, all those different types of apps. They're great, don't get me wrong. But if you are not personally reaching out to recruitment agencies, to the hiring managers at companies, to people that already work at the companies, and to people that you're impressed by their career, if you're not reaching out to these people directly and building conversations and having those conversations and understanding what they look for on a much more deeper personal level from a candidate perspective, you're not going to be able to go anywhere, and you're limiting yourself so much. I think one thing that I noticed, especially while working in a recruitment agency, is that when we put out an ad, you see it from our perspective, you get 250 applicants, but sometimes the best conversations and best connections that we have built with candidates are those candidates that they send through their application, but then they also reach out to us via LinkedIn directly. So they'll try to connect with us and they'll send a message in that saying open to chat or whatever it is, and then or they'll just connect with us, and if we accept in a right time frame, they'll message us directly, explaining to them their story and why they're a good fit for the job. That already builds such a much more personal perspective and perception that we have of you. We feel like we know you a lot better now in comparison to just seeing the resume and that's it. So you personalize yourself a lot better and you stand out. So that's the biggest thing. When you apply for these jobs and not do anything else, you don't stand out. You need to stand out. You need to be quick with it. You need to be accountable and own it if you're not doing enough in that time frame. And you need to keep building momentum from there. So these are just 3 quick reasons as to why you may be struggling with your job search. I hope you got some value from this video. If you are interested in working with me on a one-to-one level, I have a free consultation link below. We can have a 30-minute chat, discover your goals, discover where you want to be, and we can work out the next steps from there. Thank you very much for watching. See ya.